So we have some new level, we have some beta alanine, and we have some CBD isolate at 50 milligrams.
All right, what's next?
What's happening, guys? Hope your day is going well. Today we're going to review Hempire Subs Brain Pump Miami Vice. We're going to go over the ingredients so you know what you put in your body and go over the effects in this bad boy. If you're new to the channel, get this out of the way, and you like stuff like that, my name is Dave. Hit the subscribe button. Love to have you along for the ride. So first and foremost, let's get the flavor out of the way so we can jump into all this. The flavor on this thing was damn good. I liked it. Honestly, I don't do numbers, but the second time I took this, I completely filled up my shaker jug. I didn't go by like the 4 or 6 ounces because the flavor was good. And when first time I took it, I'm like, oh man, I want more of that. I want that in my pre-workout EAs. It's good. You'll enjoy it. I mean, I hope you enjoy it. It just depends on taste buds. We're all a little bit different. So getting that out of the way, next is got to talk about the scoopers. So there's a big scooper in the bottle here. That's right here. Just in case you guys order this and they're doing the same thing, because I know they're in production with this thing. But they sent a small scooper along in the box as well. And on the top of the lid here, it says, attention, please use the smaller scooper provided and discard the larger scooper that's inside the container. But just so you know, depending on how you want to use this thing, at a flat level pack scoop on the smaller scooper, it's a 1 serving dose. At a flat level pack scoop on the larger scoop, it's a 2 serving dose. So me, I'm not going to use the 1 serving dose because I will 2 scoop this thing if I'm going to put this stuff in my body, get the full effects. So it just depends on you as an individual if this is something you want to buy and how you want to work this. Well, it's nice to save scoopers around too, so it's kind of cool. I can't get this back in there. Put that in the box right now too. So we can move on. So either one pack level, large flat level scoop is right on with the dosage, and I think it's a really small writing. I'll put the ingredient profile up here. Just in case I'm wrong, forgive me on some of the amounts here. We have 11.97 grams, I think, for the 2 scoops. And that large scooper is, if you pack it, flat level it, is right there. And then on the smaller one here, I'm not even going to go, but the smaller one, if you do 2 scoops of that, is going to be pretty much right on, packed, flat level to the 2 scoop dose. And you got 20 servings at, 20? Yeah, 20 servings. And you get older, you start losing your vision, either long distance or short. 20 servings. And then right on top of the label here, let's jump right in this. We got some niacin at 20 milligrams. We got some sodium at, I think it's 75. And we have some potassium at 40. So on the niacin here, what niacin is going to do for the body is it helps stimulate the production of norepinephrine, epinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine. So it helps with like the stimulation of that. Let's get things kind of like stimulated, ready to start firing. And it also has some intercellular function by helping with the production of NAD and NAD plus or NADH in the body, which is going to help with cellular energy repair, DNA repair, and cellular energy function utilizing glucose. So 20 milligrams is really good. Didn't feel any kind of adverse effects as far as flushing or anything like that. So it hit pretty well. I liked it. Then we got sodium, potassium here. We got sodium. Sodium is super important. Sodium is going to come from the Himalayan pink salts in this, and the potassium comes from the new level. It has some potassium inside of it. And the sodium is super important for pre-workouts, in my opinion. It's actually really important for just a nootropic formula as well, because sodium ions are what create the energy to send signaling across neurons in the body. So they are the mechanism that actually creates neural energy firing production, to where it can actually literally fire signaling from one neuron to the next neuron or nerve. So sodium's super important. I love it. So then in the gym, it's going to help with contractional capability. It's going to help with speed and accuracy as far as on a small level. So none of this stuff is like going to make you superhuman most of the time. But we'll get into this and the effects. We got brain pump fuel formula here. We got beta alanine at 4 grams. So this turns into histamine, then turns into carnosine. And what this does, this buffers lactic acid. I like to say metabolites, because it's more than lactic acid. It's just simple. People can just simply say lactic acid, and for some odd reason, everybody just knows what lactic acid is. But metabolites are lactic acid. They're byproducts of the muscle breakdown, and it's also ammonia that builds up in the bottle. And that creates that burn and slows down our production of getting out more reps and more sets in the gym. So this is going to also give you the beta alanine tingles, the itching, the scratching. So this is that ingredient that will give you that. I'll let you guys know how that hits. And beta alanine has been studied as well to reduce anxiety. So very good ingredient. I like it. And there's a couple drawbacks when you couple it with taurine, but we'll get into that into another video. Then we have some New Level at 1.6 grams. So New Level is a inositol and arginine complex combination here, and the two together actually work synergistically to create cerebral processing speed, increase cerebral processing speed, focus, accuracy, and also blood flow. So this is going to help with dilation. This is the sister, the brother, the uncle of nitrogen. So they're two different ingredients, even though they have somewhat similar effects. You're going to have nitrogen that's going to give you more pumps, in my opinion, but New Level does a damn good job at a good dose, and New Level is going to give you, because of the inositol in there, is going to give you more of a, the amount. It's an amount of inositol is going to give you more of a nootropic type processing, neurofunctional type effect there. So very good ingredient. Then we have some L-tyrosine at 1,500 milligrams. I like that dose. I like the dosing that they're doing this in 2 scoops. They're not overdoing it. You don't need a whole lot of this crap to be thrown in your body. And besides, your stomach can only digest so much in a certain time. So, you know, having a product that's actually just hits at a certain way with lower dosages, it's just better all around. It just absorbs better, it hits better, it's smoother. So I do like the dosages on this. So L-tyrosine at 1,500 milligrams is going to help. It turns into L-dopa, and it's going to turn into dopamine, then converts into norepinephrine, and then further converts into epinephrine in the brain, which helps with cognitive function, focus. It helps with well-being as well, because it stimulates other receptors in the brain and lessens stressors that are happening in life. So let's say really good for pre-workouts, because if you're stressing yourself, you're working really hard and you're really got a ton of energy and you're blasting yourself, it's going to help you stay focused through your training session. It helps a little bit to keep your mind functioning and firing. Then we have some lion's mane at 600 milligrams. I absolutely love that dose. So lion's mane, it increases nerve growth factor in the brain, which is a peptide. It's a protein peptide in the brain that helps with the boosting of neurotransmitters, alertness, and memory and learning, and also the refreshing, the rebuilding, the processing of neurons. So fabulous ingredient. I love this. Is one of my favorite ingredients. I love that they put it at 600 milligrams, because I'll be honest with you, I'd run deep into studies, and you want to be cautious with some of these mushrooms out there. One of these days I'll do a video if people are curious and they really want to know my opinion on some of them, but you do not want to take this in high dosages, in my opinion, every single day, because it can mess with testosterone levels. So enough said on that. So jumping into the next one here, we have alpha GPC, 300 milligrams. This is a choline source. It turns into acetylcholine in the brain. And what this helps with is alertness, clarity, memory, and the development of new brain cells. And also helps with the processing of touch, and also motor function, planning, intelligence, through the aspect that it targets the cerebral cortex, the membranes, for the development of new cells in the brain. So I got all that in. Then we have, and I like the dose, 300 milligrams. Then we have caffeine anhydrous, 300 milligrams. This is 2 dose. We all know what caffeine is. This messes with the receptors in the body, as far as the type, the A1 and the A2 receptors, which helps with energy production and all kinds of different processing in the brain. Anti-inflammation, well-being, processing of the catecholamines in the brain, and a few other things. So I'm not going to get into caffeine too much. Then we have some Mucuna perennis, 98% L-dopa at 200 milligrams. That's actually pretty good. So if this is sourced well, these type of sourced ingredients at that type of a percentage have been compared to pharmaceutical grade dopamine ingredients. So it's a fantastic ingredient. 200 milligrams is nothing to shrug about. It's actually a really decent dose. And it's 98% L-dopa. So just like with L-tyrosine turns into L-dopa, then into dopamine, norepinephrine, and then later into epinephrine. So we're going to have that type of effect. But Mucuna perennis also has been shown in studies, and they don't really know a whole lot about how. They still need to do a lot of studies on it. So we'll just get into this real quick. What it's been shown to do is it's been shown to improve testosterone levels or hormone levels by messing with the hypothalamus, pituitary, gonadal axis. It's actually in the brain there, and it also has some antidiuretic effects that are effective in helping with glucose disposal, because it activates We talked about inositol, a form of inositol that helps with intercellular signaling, and that is churro. Wait, is it churro? D-churro-inositol. And basically what that does is on an intercellular level, it actually helps with the functioning in the cellular level. So this helps out through the whole body. So it's going to help with energy production and glucose disposal, which is, when you say disposal, glucose energy production pretty much. That's how it's disposed of by entering the cell. It's been used up by energy and the body processes it. And you just go. ATP production, all that good stuff. Then we have, so it's a fantastic ingredient. Then we have some pink Himalayan salt, which is going to have some electrolytes, going to have the sodium, the potassium, some minerals in there, 200 milligrams. I like that. I like to see 200 to 300 milligrams on pre-workouts because, especially the way I train, I like to stay hydrated. Then we have some L-theanine at 150 milligrams. You either love it or hate it. I've grown to love this ingredient. So this increases alpha brain waves. So we have beta brain waves. We have quite a few other brain waves in the body that actually create our different levels of activity in the brain. And beta brain waves are a little higher than alpha brain waves. So you have, and then you have one that's really, really low. So you have the lowest one, you have alpha brain waves, beta brain waves, and you have one or two above that as far as the brain waves go. And that's the excitability, the brain function, the firing, and stuff like that. Alpha brain waves are more of a dialed down brain function. So 150 milligrams, I like that. I don't like that they didn't OD it. I prefer 100 milligrams, no more when it's coupled in a pre-workout, but 150 I can deal with, no problem. And it's going to dial you back with all the excitability and the glutamate. And it's also going to help with the production of glutamate in the brain. It's going to relax the brain so you're not firing like crazy. This is supposed to increase brain-derived nootropic factor and new growth factor, which neural growth factor is in lion's mane, which are the peptides in the brain for neural function, neural firing, and stimulation. So I like it. I've grown to like it, and I've grown to run with it and enjoy it. So I'll let you guys know how this thing hits. Then we have some CBD isolate. It says 99% cannabinoid, 50 milligrams. That's at 2 scoops. So CBD isolate is not a full spectrum CBD, just so you guys know. It's just the cannabinoids that help with pain relief, they help with inflammation, they help with depression. And CBD, to be honest with you, has not been studied fully enough to actually say anything about what it will actually do for you, because we're all metabolically different. But this does work on different receptors in the body. So for inflammation, it works on the A2A receptors. For pain and stress, it works on the TRPV1 receptors. And then for anxiety and depression, it works on different types of 5-HIV something receptor. So depending on how you are, those receptors are going to be activated, and to what levels, it's all individually. That's why everybody is different. And I like CBD isolate more than a full spectrum CBD that's going to have a lot of other terpenes in it and stuff like that, because CBD cannabis, when you get closer to the cannabis, closer to the THC, actually reduces melatonin in the brain. So it can actually start screwing you up as far as your cycling, your daily cycling, if you're consuming it too much. And CBD isolate is just right into the receptors. Doesn't mess with brain function, doesn't mess with thought, doesn't make you feel stoned or high. It's just, if you accept it in certain receptors, you'll either have less inflammation, or you'll have less pain, or less stress, or less depression. Just depends on how it hits you. Enough of that, rambling on. Then we have some estrogen at 50 milligrams to bring in all together ingredients. So this is great for the gut. Helps with the microbes in the gut, inflammation in the gut, and helps with the breakdown and metabolism and the absorption of all these ingredients in here, especially amino acids. Then we have some Heparine A at 200 micrograms. I think that's what it says here. So this has some great benefits as far as it supports brain cell mitochondria. It prevents plaque from being built up in the brain, but it also it helps by stopping an enzyme that actually is released by the brain to lower acetylcholine in the brain. So it kind of blocks it or inhibits it. So the acetylcholine that's being spiked in the brain, especially by the alpha GPC and other things that are going on with this particular product, it'll keep it elevated for a longer period of time. So enough of that. I hope that I broke that down okay for you guys. It's been a little while. It's been a minute since I've been on here. So let's just jump into this. Brain Pump, Miami Vice, the effects on this bad boy. How did it do? So you take the 2 scoops. I took the 2 scoops, and just so you guys know, these are my effects. I didn't feel a beta-alanine come in until close to 15 minutes. And at 4 grams, it's not a high, hard hitter. It hits at a medium to medium high level in the tingling, itching, and scratching, which is super nice. It's not a high, hard hitter, but it's a long hitter. So I was like 45 minutes in as I was kind of investigating, waiting for this stuff, all these things to come in. And, when does this peak? So I can tell you guys, 45 minutes to an hour, I was still feeling the beta-alanine in the background. And it wasn't like it was like super faint. I mean, I still felt like it was like kind of doing its job on my skin and stuff, but not harsh. So it does peak at like a medium, between a medium and a medium high, and it just slowly dials down. It's not like a drop of any kind. So you feel it for a little while. So nice little hit. I like the way that comes in. The focus and energy, you feel more of the focus, in my opinion, than the energy off the bat. But they both start dropping in about 25 minutes. And from there is a ride that you have. And it's a nice one, actually. I really do like the way they put this thing together. But this is my experience. And when I take this, the focus comes in first, and it builds all the way to an hour as the energy is coming up. And it feels like the energy is always right behind the focus. Or right below the focus, until about 50 minutes to an hour where they kind of both come together. And at no point is this heart racing. This is not death-defying. Do I feel stoned or high from the CBD isolate? No. It's very smooth, but it's high level at 2 scoops. This is a very get shit done type supplement. So you can use this for pre-workout if you wanted to, and it's going to give you, we'll get into the type of focus and stuff, but it's going to give you this drive to get things done. So you will be, lost the word. You will be productive. So you can be very productive on this thing, in or outside of the gym, on your work day. If you just take this on your off day and you got a lot of stuff, household chores to do, you will be freaking productive on this thing for a good 4 hours, and actually even a little bit longer. So it does last for 4 to 6 hours. But it's a taper off effect, but it's really good and high and nice. And at no point is it super high to where you feel like you're coming down from something. It comes up to a certain point at about an hour, kind of builds a little bit more after that is what I noticed, but not much. And then you hold that extra cognitive function, extra focus, extra energy, whatever you're getting out of it, the being productive type feeling for a good 4 to 6 hours. So very nice product, no crash on this. When the focus comes in on this thing, when the energy comes in on this, get that out of the way. The energy is, it's kind of a combination of physical and not. So we have physical energy where we want to be in the gym, we want to be training, and then we have the type of energy to where we're just awake and we can be talking to people and stuff. It's like right in the middle of that for me. Right in the middle. So I can use this for training, no problem, for a nice smooth workout to get through. And I can use this for like an off day like today. Took my wife to the bins, as far as the Goodwill bins. She's shopping, I'm doing a review, and I'm just kind of just talking to you guys and enjoying the ride here. So don't feel out of sorts. I don't feel stoned. I don't feel high. I hate those type of feelings on pre-workouts. I really do. I'm not one of those people. And very tolerable. So I can deal with people. I can walk around. I don't feel edgy. I don't feel not myself. But everything's upper level as far as energy and focus. Now, the energy and focus on this thing, like I said, is super productive. It's productive to where you're not in a nootropic bubble, but you are really dialed in to the day. So what I mean by that is it's not just task driven, which it can be. So if I dive into a task like this video, I could actually set myself into this and I'm stuck on this task. Nothing else is going on. But this is a daily motivated, task, all around driven supplement. So like I can switch over at any time. I can switch to just daily getting done with multiple tasks during the day with no problem. I'm not set. I'm not nootropic bubbled, if you know what I mean. I am just kind of focused, driven, feeling good. You get an upper level of feeling on this thing, mood elevation. Don't feel like dancing or singing, but I feel good. I feel comfortable. I feel awake. I feel good. So I don't know if the CBD is doing its job in this, but I woke up today and I was sore as hell. I've been working, geez, I think I worked 2 10-hour days and 1 12-hour days, and it's up and down driving all day and a lot of work. And I woke up sore this morning, and after I took this, I'd say within about an hour and a half after taking this, and now I'm 3 4 hours into it, my feet, which were achy, my lower extremities, which were achy, are gone. So I don't know if the CBD is working, or if it's just that I got up and started generating blood flow and it kind of eliminated some of the lactic acid that was building up in my muscles. But I do feel good on this thing all around, well-being wise. So it's a really good product if this is something you're interested in. It is a nootropic based hitter. So I want people to be aware that this will hit you in a nootropic fashion. I don't always like nootropic pre-workouts, nootropic type hitters. It's not my gig, and I know there's some of you out there the same way because I get DMs and stuff. So if you don't want to be hit in the head and you don't want to be nootropically enhanced, task driven, and focused and dilated, because it's a medium high that you're getting hit with on this thing. It just doesn't take you out like you're taking a DMHA exotic stim type thing. It just hits you medium high, lasts with you, and it's super smooth. But if you don't like stuff like that, then this is not something for you. I want to be straight with you guys. Other than that, I hope I covered everything, and I hope I didn't bore the crap out of you guys with my ingredient breakdown. I feel like I do that with you guys sometimes. But I'm gonna get going and close this up and go and visit my wife in the Goodwill bins and watch her pick away. You guys have a fabulous day. And if you're watching this on the weekend, have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next time on the channel.